Whether you're buying or selling property, an important part of the process is the seller's disclosure. So we're going to talk about that, all its details coming up next. Hey, what's going on, friends? Dylan Lanaka here with the Buy Big Island video blog, and this week we're going to talk about seller's disclosure. And this is important on both sides of a transaction. And there's a couple of important things to understand. First, what is a seller's disclosure, right? It's just a 5-page document with a ton of questions that ask you kind of everything you could possibly think of about a property, but the real purpose of it is that it is getting the seller to disclose any material facts that affect the value of the property to the buyer, so the buyer can make a decision on whether or not they want to move forward with that sale. So this is important because sometimes sellers think that, okay, I'm going to do the seller's disclosure and just kind of, breeze through it and not put a lot of time and effort into it, and put the less on there the better, because I don't want to scare the buyer away with too much information. And that is definitely not the case. That's not something that I recommend. The best way to go forward is to over-disclose. Be very honest about the situation. If you've had a leak, disclose that. If you've replaced appliances, disclose that. If you replaced the floors or doors, disclose that, because it actually makes a buyer feel better in most cases that they know that you took the time and effort, that you've done a bunch of work to the house, right? If the house has any type of age to it, there's going to be all kinds of things that you have to do over the years to maintain that home. And so it looks very fishy when the home is 30 years old and it says you've never replaced anything in the house or repaired anything. That's more of a red flag to a buyer than having a lot of detailed information. Some sellers are really great about it. They provide receipts and dates and the contractor who did it, so that buyer can feel really good about the work that was done. And if they need to go back and check on something, or maybe something has a warranty, they have all that information. So it's not just kind of repairs and replacements of things, but it's also just facts about the property. Is it in a flood zone? What lava zone is it in? Is it in the path of a aircraft and there's noise? The new ones ask about coqui frogs, termite damage, whether or not there was unpermitted additions to a property. There's all kinds of questions, but you really want to take the time and go through it and accurately answer it with as much honesty as disclosure as possible. In the course of the transaction, it's usually due within a few days, depending on how many days you put in the contract after opening escrow. So what I always like to do is give that to my seller early on in the listing process, so they can start looking at it. They can ask me questions. We can go over any questions that they have together, but it's one document in the process that you actually have to fill out. So your realtor cannot fill that out for you. It says that right at the top. The seller has to fill it out. We can assist and answer questions and clarify things, because there may be some really odd questions in there that don't make any sense, or our realtor jargon. We got that happens. But you really want to take the time and effort, go through it accurately, make sure that anything that you think that you would want to know as a buyer, you disclose, because it's always better to over-disclose than under-disclose. It provides trust and makes that buyer feel good about going forward. And that buyer can make an accurate and informed decision about the condition of the property based on what they've been told by the seller. So if you have any questions about that, you can always reach out, Dylan@buybigisland.com, or put a question in the comments below. But this is something that when it's your turn to be a seller, we'll go over in great detail and talk about, and even on the buy side, right? I'm always gonna look this over for you on the buyer side and let you know, hey, everything in here looks pretty standard and normal based on where this property is located, or hey, these are red flags, or hey, there's some information missing here, we're gonna ask for more information. So again, if you have any questions, Dylan@buybigisland.com. Thank you guys for watching. Please like the video, and I'll see you guys next week. Aloha.